Good day, everyone. I'm so delighted to be part of this year's money consultation. Congratulations to all of us for this great day that has eventually come. I want to bless God for the opportunity granted unto me by the leadership to speak to us this year. It is a privilege I value so much, and I trust the Lord that God is going to help us this year to learn and to relearn and to unlearn certain things as regards digital ministry, and our understanding will be better enlightened so as to use this tool effectively. First, I want to tell us that there is a revolution now, and that revolution is digital revolution for everyone who cares to know. The way we do things before COVID is different from the way things are now, and that is what we have to embrace. I could remember some of the presentation I made before COVID. Ministers and in some of the gatherings then, I told them that one thing that we can't do is we cannot fight technology. The advancement that is coming to us at this time, we may not be able to fight it, but we will do ourselves a great deal of favor to integrate ourselves into the reality. It is a reality. We call it the new normal. So before now, a lot of things are difficult to do, but today I can tell you they are not difficult to do, because virtually everything that could be achieved physically now can be done virtually. That's reality, and we all must come to that understanding, and it must be a wake-up call to the church and the leadership in general to embrace the new normal, to embrace the new change, to embrace the new dynamics of doing things, and to be well positioned so that we will maximize the use. So over time, we have allowed the enemy to manipulate some of these platforms, leaving them to it, and it has caused so much havoc to us. It has affected our youth mainly. But now there is a wake-up call to all of us to reposition, to re-strategize, and to embrace these new changes so that we can make the best use of it. One, for the kingdom. Two, for our personal development, for our career, our growth, then as a source of livelihood for quite a number of people. I tell you, there are vast opportunities when it comes to digital, when it comes to ICT, that a lot of youth can embrace, and that will do them a whole lot of good. So, and some of those things I'm going to mention in this presentation. We have a limited time, but by the grace of God, I'm trying to come up with something with few of my friends and see how we can set up like an e-learning which will be globally recognized for quite a number of our youth to learn and be able to find their footings, because a lot of them go into all manner of illegal activities. Why? Because they have to survive, they have to keep minds and souls together. But if they can be shown a better way of doing things that will not endanger their destiny and cut them off from God, I think that would be a better option. So in this presentation, I want us to look at this thing holistically. There are a lot of some of the things I will be mentioning that has to do with the church, that has to do with missions, that has to do with youth engagement. So why the need for digital ministry? There is need because as individual, as a church, we need to build an effective ministry beyond the four walls. What goes on outside the four walls now is there are quite a number of activities, and we need to get involved as a church. And it's coming to a point that every individual can be empowered to build or to have their own platforms, to carve a niche for themselves. Just like we have different areas of need in the society today, all of us can begin to develop ourselves and have platforms whereby we reach out to people, to the youth, to the widows, to the unemployed, to farmers, to engineers, there are quite a number of, the harvest field is so wide, and that is why we can effectively, use media or use digital tools to reach people. Remember, the Bible says, and the Bible declares in the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 14, and it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole inhabited earth for a testimony to all the nations, and then the end will come." I want to believe that this scripture will be fulfilled through the use of digital ministry, because it is ministry without boundaries. Even where people could not get to through media, we could get there. So digital ministry is so important. So that is number one reason why we need to embrace digital ministry, building an effective ministry beyond the four walls. Okay, another reason is there is need for the church to upgrade the present strategy for reaching the world. There are a lot of things that are changing in our world, and we cannot sit on the fence watching. We have done that in the past. COVID brought a reawakening to the church, so we must, and we have to be intentional and be deliberate about it. That is very, very critical. The place of intentionality and being deliberate, we cannot but engage in that, because people that are taking over the media space, they plan, they strategize. What is the role of the church in the world evangelization as regards digital ministry, as taking over the digital world? So a lot of havoc are being done over there, and that is why we need to rise up. We need to be strategic. We need to be intentional about our approaches. We have the message. We are not changing the message, but the channel. Remember, there was a time that Jesus wanted to minister to the people, and he needed a channel. He needed a platform. The message is there. There are people he wants to reach, but yet in between himself, the message, and the people, there is need for a platform. That is where digital ministry is standing in. So until Jesus beckoned unto Peter to lend his boat, and they push it a little while into the water, that's when he could start and reach the people. So digital ministry is intermediary between the message of the gospel and the people we want to reach. So the people are out there, and we have the message. How do we communicate? If we don't speak their language, how will they hear except somebody minister to them? So digital ministry is very, very critical today than never before. Things are changing, so we need to get involved. Jesus said we should go out and make disciples of all nations. It is very easy. It will be very convenient for us to do that with digital ministry because we don't need to travel around the world. Do you know how much money we can save? Do you know how much resources we can save in planning meetings? If we are to have 1 million, okay, for this meeting, this money, let's say we are expecting 1 million people. Where do you think we will use? But do you know the same meeting can hold online with the same amount of data, and people are hooking up from different nations, and we are not blocking the road, we are not paying for all, we are not paying for equipment, we are not paying for logistics, we are not paying for flight tickets for guest ministers that will come. You know how much we are going to save when we embrace it and we turn our services to hybrid. Fine, we have to meet, but more importantly, you can have 1,000, 2,000 people meeting in a place, and you are controlling about 100,000 or 1 million people online. That's what we are talking about. And each and every one of us can build a platform and have digital discipleship where we meet online in our hundreds, in our thousands, and all of that. Okay, think about influencers today. Whether you like it or not, they are making disciples. There are people, okay, we have followers on Facebook. What does that mean? A follower is somebody that believes in you, and that is what we call disciple. It's the same thing. So somebody will start saying rubbish today and gather a lot of followers, and if you watch them, somebody will start a dance, they will turn it into a challenge. Someone will do something crazy, they will turn it to a challenge, and all of our youth, they follow suit. Go to today's weddings and see some of the music that they play there. You will see they are not gospel music. That is influence, and everybody wants to pattern, every of our youth wants to pattern their wedding, their engagement in that same line. Why? Because somebody is influencing them, and that is what the gospel is supposed to be doing, because we are the salt and we are the light. So when we are talking about the salt, is influence. A little one, when you drop it into a thing, it turns it around. The light also impact over the darkness. So making disciples in this in this 21st century requires us to be equipped with digital tools that will make the work more effective for us to do. Another challenge in our hands is, how do we connect to the 21st generation? We call them the Gen Z. The church, there is a missing link between the church and the Gen Z. I mean, those 21st century generations, who any time, any day you see them with phones. We may not be able to take those phones away from them, but we can actually put content that will impact their lives, that will transform their lives by being in their world. Because it is becoming an unstoppable movement. Think about EndSARS. How did it start? It started on Twitter. People are just tweeting, somebody put an hashtag, and before you know it, it went viral. They converge, and a form of revolution break forth. These days we need to trust God for strategy as a church to connect with our world, because some of the things we fail to do, the enemy is exploring those avenues. Now check the reports on the news about a Yahoo school. About 150 youths were arrested in that school. The owner of the school was jailed. Fine, they have jailed the man, but he has impacted the knowledge. He has raised 150 people. And I know there are more than that. Various institutions in Nigeria today are centers for Yahoo activities. Who raised them? Somebody was intentional. Somebody could be bold enough to set up a Yahoo school where fraudsters are being produced? What is church doing? I've not seen a single church, one church that has a center where we are producing digital ministers, digital evangelists, influencers, broadcasters, people that will own their own platforms. People within the church that will know how to use TikTok, and they are doing so much in that area. Being intentional about this thing. People that will know how to use Facebook very well. People that will know how to use Instagram very well. People that will be on LinkedIn. People that will be on YouTube. And we have groups, and we train them, we equip them, we empower them, and we send them forth. What do you think they will be doing there? That's what we are talking about. And there is so much problem in the world. And that should give the gospel an advantage, because gospel can only thrive in darkness, not within the light. We are sent to impact and to affect the darkness. So digital ministry is critical. Building our own community or carrying a niche for yourself is part of what I've mentioned earlier. It has come to a point where we need to know and explore what people are good at. A group of professionals within the church circle, and they are doing wonderfully well. They have content to produce. Now, a lot of people are having health challenge today. What are we doing about it? And we have doctors in church that can produce content and send it around, let it go viral. A lot of people are having problem with parenting. A lot of people are having problem with marriages. So we can have various platforms, and we all keep speaking, we keep talking, because we are disciples. We have been trained. We have to be trained, we have to be groomed before we start doing all that. So we can create community of believers. Jesus said the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. I am calling upon the church, I'm calling upon our leaders in the faith to let us embrace this. Sometimes ago in Ibadan, I saw a big board of one of these faction of the Muslim, setting up a digital school around Bodija. Saw this billboard, and they are offering cyber security, they are offering robotics engineering, they are offering data science and data analysis and all of that. Where is the church? And let's come to think of it. Let me digress a bit and to talk about opportunities when it comes to digital space or digital world. Our youth can be rightly engaged in legitimate businesses. Aside using it for their for ministry purpose, for the kingdom purpose, they can actually engage themselves in some of these activities, and they may not step out of their homes working. I heard the story of a young boy who finished SSC, just senior secondary school, and was just reading about cyber security. And along the line, after reading it, he did the certification and he passed. And he got an offer, an online offer, a remote job for $1,000 per month. Think about that. An SSC student. And we have several thousands of graduates who are staying at home watching TV or taking selfie, attending parties around. There is so much opportunity and we can position our youth and our children for the future to come. Many of these countries, for example United Kingdom, no matter your profession, from wherever you are coming from, it is not automatic that that certificate will be approved. You will have to blend and go into the system, get trained, get their own certification before you can now get a position. But can I tell you, if you have any certification that relates with all this cybersecurity or networking or whatever, when you, in fact, you can even get a remote job before you come here, and you start practicing almost immediately, because it is widely recognized. And that is a secret for us, and that's why we need to position them. All of our children from age 3, age 5 should get themselves acquainted with the use of system, because that is the world now. That's what's happening now. I've met some of the kids around here in the UK, you know, offering online studies. Guess who is teaching them? Some of our people in Nigeria are their tutors, teaching them English, teaching them mathematics. Is that not an opportunity? And do you know also, when you engage in such manner, what stops us from introducing Christ? Because you know what you're doing. Things are changing, and we need to be more strategic. We need to embrace the new ways of doing things than the conventional way that we are used to, which in quotes is no longer working, because everybody is doing it. The harvest field is so wide, but we can make use of digital tools to begin to engage our community, to engage professionals, to engage individuals, because there is so much problem to be solved, and the world is looking for solution providers. You might be asking, where will I start from? The first thing we need is digital education, because a lot of people say, it's all about Facebook. No, that's not what we're talking about. When you are properly informed, you will know the right thing to do. We need digital education, and this should be taken up. Digital education. What are there are awarenesses all around. Cancer awareness is there, TB, diabetics, and all of that. Why? Because for them to know what are the causes of some of these things, so that you will not walk in that path. And peradventure there are symptoms of those things in your life. What are the next thing that you are going to do? So also, when it comes to digital ministry, we need digital education. Our missionary centers or colleges, we must all inculcate it into it now. Okay, let me share a testimony with you. We are to start a new church in a place called Aberdare. I'm in Wales, and we are starting another church there. So before I even left Nigeria, I've created the social media account. They are active. So immediately I came in, I made some posts and I did some target adverts, and through it quite a number of people are making inquiries, and God connected me with this white woman called Lorena. The place or the town we are going to plant the church, that was the same town she was born, and she has been very helpful with some of the information I need about the place. Not only that, I believe that she has also been praying for God to bring a living church into the area, because she is a believer, but over time she was afflicted, she fell sick and she couldn't go to church. Even she could not even find any living church to go. So hearing about that a church is coming to our neighborhood gladdens our heart. How do I connect with her? Some of the places she shared with me online, when we visited the place, when we did the survey, I saw the places physically, and I've seen it before I eventually saw it. That's the part of. So there are researches we can conduct. There are information we can get about places, about territories, about, nothing is hidden. Because you will have been well informed before you even pursue that thing. We are very new in this environment now. But there's virtually anywhere we want to go that we are asking people whereabouts. Because we have Google Maps on our phone. Once you click where you are going, Google Map will take you there with descriptions, with voice notes, telling you where to turn left, to turn right. As a power of digital ministry. So digital education is very important. It makes life easier. When last have you bought newspapers? Who buys it again? Except you want to do change of name. That's when you will need physical paper. Every other information, you can get it. There are a lot of conferences, seminars, workshops that hold online. Paid program. I've attended quite a number of them. Our children can go to university today without stepping into any, into any physical college. Practicals are being organized. They can, simulate any form of practical, engineering or whatever, online. Operations are being conducted, virtually. So it's a changed world. And we need to integrate so that we can be more effective as ministers. Then we can help our youth. A lot of havoc is being done by the enemy. So we need to also intervene and get something done. Trusting the Lord to help us. So I've mentioned to us why we need digital ministry and why we need to get involved. And I've been able to outline a number of avenues where we need digital ministry as well. So, and I've told us where we are going to start from. Our starting point should be with knowing, knowledge, developing interest in it, finding out how. It is getting to a point where individuals must be able to live on his own by doing things by himself. One of the things that I advocate for many of the churches I consult for is for them to build their own team within. Many of those young boys and girls that we felt are not serious, you get them into a unit and commit them to a course. You will see how versatile, how productive they can be. Back in Nigeria, young boys are the ones setting up our sound, doing the projection and the likes. They will do it effectively. Recording, being on the camera. Young boys of about more than 10 years old. It's all about training. When we train them, aside that, there are many community engagements that we organized, and we just teach them basic of computer and digital marketing. Come and see the influx of youth bombarding us. Many of those outreaches, we don't even print flyers. Once they get to know, once you tell like 5 of them, they will seek for the rest. And whether they are Muslims or children of herbalists, they don't care. They come en masse, and through that we're able to preach the gospel message to them. Digital ministry remains one of the viable evangelism tool today that we can use to draw the attention of the youth. Engage them in a 5-day training, but embellish and the discipleship program into it. Maybe the first 30 minutes or 1 hour is to talk about Bible. On the rest of the day, or 3 hours or more, let them do practicals on computer. They will keep coming, and at the same time they are gaining wisdom. At the same time we are bringing them to the Lord. Is a viable strategy. Whether you organize it in the city or in villages, it works. Our missionaries can be equipped. Get them 1 or 2 laptops or mobile phones or tablets. You can gather them together in the villages, and there are solar lights here also to charge it even if there is no light there. These are effective things. They can be trained. So we have a lot in our hands. So aside streaming our services and all of that, when it comes to mission, is an effective tool. One, it will gather the youth, and once the youth are involved in the cause, forget about it, it will succeed. All you have to do, put them in hot run, feed them with the right thing, and they begin to fly by themselves. Digital discipleship is there. Having people we are discipling online, sending materials to them in form of ebook, audios, videos. It has power because it is about the word. It is about the message, and the message is authentic. The message is real. The message that it cannot lose power. So wherever it gets to, it prospers. Then there are educational resources, materials, e-learning platforms are there, and you can even set up one. As a teacher, as a photographer, or whatever, these are, avenues of building discipleship classes online. You are a caterer, use that as a bait to get them, and from there you share the gospel with them and show them other things. The multimedia evangelism is there, the use of short videos and all of that, content, developing content. See what Mount Zion is doing, amazing. So if we have like 100 or 1,000 of Mount Zion ministries, it's not difficult, it is possible. And we are bombarding the kingdom of darkness with gospel outreaches, gospel contents. Do you know many of the problem of cultural or language barriers could be solved because there are translators online. If you speak in English, they can translate it into other languages. Digital ministry. So the more we delve into it, the more things open up for us. We have not even talked about artificial intelligence at all, or ChatGPT. There are powerful resources we can use today, and it will give us less stress in planning, in organization, in doing. Or we have quite a number of things to learn. YouTube is there, Facebook is there. I don't want to go into statistics because of our time, because this is not a classroom. We still need a proper classroom, that people need to go through to learn. And when they are well trained, then we can send them forth. They become digital ministers, digital evangelists, digital missionaries. So as they are affecting people on the field, there are other people that they are also affecting. Even within their geographical area too, they are bringing great impact. So there is a lot to learn, and that is my submission for us to embrace digital ministry. It's more than what we think. It's more than TikTok. It's more than Twitter. It's more than Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. It is a world on its own, and we need to get involved so that the gospel can be preached, so that we can reach more people for the Lord. Thank you once again for having me. I'm so grateful, so delighted to be a blessing to us. And I believe the few I've been able to share, the Holy Spirit will, will enlarge it in our heart and make us take proper action from now on what we need to do as regards digital evangelism and how to reach people for the Lord. God bless you.